November 19th, 2006, the Nintendo Wii was launched and it came with one of the simplest concepts in a game and yet undoubtedly one of the greatest games ever in hindsight. Minigame collections are so common in video games and so are sports games. So I wonder, what made this one so popular? So popular in fact that even your grandma picked up the controller to throw down. I'd even have to say that the concept of the Wii's motion controls helped to skyrocket the game. I was 6 or 7 years old when the game first came out, so I can't say for certain if motion controls existed in video games before this, but I do know for a fact that they were never ever done this way before. All I remember at the time was being scared of two random dudes coming to my house to try to play Wii Sports with me. So, besides the childhood trauma, let's take a look at this amazing game and see if it holds up all these years later. Wii Sports is split into 5 main sports: boxing, tennis, baseball, golf, and of course, bowling. Each sport plays completely different and it is very entertaining in its own way. At the time, the ability to create your own Mii and be able to take that Mii on a set of these challenges was an amazing concept that hadn't really been done in that way up to that point. There's also a fitness test, but I can never get a fitness age younger than 50 regardless of how much I try, so we're just gonna ignore it for now. Seriously, I have trained my whole life playing basketball, working out, and boxing, and I cannot for the life of me get a fitness age younger than 50. Skill issue, I know, but enough of my personal struggles, let's get into the meat of the game. Starting with boxing. For an older game on an older system, I'm surprised in how in-depth the boxing system actually is. I remember just spamming punches as a kid, but looking back at it now, you can perform uppercuts, hooks, and jabs, and surprisingly, it seems the harder you throw the punch, the longer it takes for you to recover. There's also some interesting defensive techniques like blocking punches and leaning to the side to dodge a punch, which in turn can create a huge opening for you to get in some offense of your own. It's so much fun to have a competitive match with a friend after a long day of talking smack to each other, or, of course, you can try to go solo and try to eventually work your way up to defeat the GOAT, Matt.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. My defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
I, of course, never made it that far because I'm trash, but with every fight I won, I got a little bit more challenging, and more people would come to watch my match, and that is just amazing. It does an amazing job of making you feel like you've improved, and more people are taking notice of that. Boxing is amazing. Next, of course, we have Wii Sports Tennis, and while it does actually seem simple enough with just hitting the ball back and forth, the angle in which you hit the ball actually has an impact on where the ball goes, and you can even control the spin on the ball depending on the angle of your hand. I also love the ability to do, special really hard serves if you hit the ball just at the right time, which was amazing. I cheese that all the time. Well, I definitely enjoyed tennis. I definitely enjoyed a little bit more if we were given some more options on maybe, running around and hitting the ball in different ways. But of course, that is maybe limited because of the technology at the time. Up third, we have Wii Sports Baseball, which is definitely my second favorite game in this collection. While the batter just has, to time his swing at the angle of the bat correctly, easier said than done, by the way, the complexity and depth of the game comes from the pitcher. The pitcher has the ability to throw curveballs, screwballs, and splitters in addition to regular throws, and can even select pitch location. I just wish after the ball was hit, there was some sort of like a mini game or something to simulate running after and catching the ball. Although, I admit that would be pretty hard to do. What's really amazing about this baseball is if you have a bunch of created Miis on your Wii, you can expect them to see them somewhere in this game. The difficulty in the game comes from the timing, as well as being able to read the pitches thrown by the opponent, which is no easy task. Next, we have Wii Sports Golf. I've never actually played real golf in real life, and I hate watching it. In fact, the only time I've sat down to watch golf is to laugh at Charles Barkley's golf swing. As a result, I have never played Wii Golf that much as a kid, and going into it, I thought I'd hate it, but you know what? It's actually pretty fun as an adult. There's 3 different difficulty levels: beginner, intermediate, and expert, which obviously makes a big impact on whether or not you're smacking it across the green or you're stuck in the sand. Much like real golf, you have a choice of golf clubs to use. The driver, iron, the putter, and the wedge are all used for different situations, and it's your job to use them and manipulate your power and the wind to be able to put the golf ball in the hole in as little tries as possible. The only problem I had was being able to accurately get the right amount of power. I'm not sure if that's just a skill issue or a problem with the remotes in general, but I found myself being scared to, tap in a close ball a lot. And besides that one problem though, I thought this game was pretty fun, and I felt like this pretty much is what I'd expect real golf to feel like, and I think they did a great job of nailing it. Lastly, we have Wii Sports Bowling. To this day, when I'm bowling in real life with my friends, I think about the angles of knocking down pins just like how this game showed me when I was a kid. This is another one of those games that anyone of all ages can pick up and play, but it does take some skill and finesse to master. The way that you throw the ball can completely change the amount of pins you knock down, just like in real life. You can make the ball go slow or fast, manipulate angles, put a spin on the ball, and I think bounce it. Pretty sure I did that once as a kid, but nobody believes me, and now I feel like I'm going crazy, and I made that up, maybe. Who knows? Much like golf, this is a sport that doesn't have any running around, and the developers did a great job of getting the actual feel of bowling. And it doesn't feel anything like anything's left out at all. Lastly, there's a training mode that essentially trains you and checks your progress and improvements in each sport with various little mini activities. And finally, the ultimate test is of your training, and it is the bane of my existence, and it is known as the fitness test. The person in the comments with the lowest fitness age will get a pin. You deserve something special for being able to get through with such a low age, and if you can't get like a military grade medal, which you deserve honestly, you'll have to settle for a pin from a barely monetized YouTube channel. Overall, Wii Sports is still an amazing game, and only one of 2 games that I can get my dad to pick up and play with me. While there may be some small hiccups here and there, the mini games are solid and are enjoyable today as they were almost 20 years ago. There's a lot of older games that have either aged horribly or they aren't as fun to pick up, and play all these years later, and this is definitely not one of those games. Wii Sports is still an amazing game to play nostalgically or at a party or even just because you're bored at home with a friend. How do you feel about Wii Sports? Is it goated, or would you rather play Nintendo Switch Sports, or maybe another one of the sports games? Let me know in the comments below. If you love Wii Sports, check out the live stream of me playing it, or if you love Nintendo in general, check out my Luigi's Mansion review. This is Plot Armor Games signing out, and we will see you in the next video.